What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Hardwood Convos podcast here on the 515 Podcast Network. Brock Bierman alongside, as always, Hunter Rose and Dawson Livingston. Shout out you two for carrying the load last week on our episode, recapping pretty much everything that we missed in the NBA playoffs from the episode before that, as well as kind of looking at what a potential NBA Finals matchup might be between certain teams. But this episode, we actually have a set NBA Finals matchup. I think, if I remember right, the last time you guys recorded, it was going into Game 6. So Game 7 wasn't even guaranteed, if I remember correctly. But we did get a Game 7 in the Western Conference Finals, and it was definitely one for the record books. A lot of memorable moments. One of the more memorable Western Conference or just conference finals in a hot minute. I know that you could probably point towards, the Pacers making their run to the finals last year or other ones that have happened over the previous years. But there's something about this one that made it so special that kind of outweighs everything else. And maybe it's because, the Spurs and the Thunder were kind of the heavy favorites heading into the year. And we all just kind of wanted to see them go at it for 7 games. We'll get into that, as well as looking back at the Knicks' run towards a potential NBA championship for the first time since the Plummer era. I don't know if maybe you guys will flame me for that. It's the 70s. Walt Frazier was around. Phil Jackson was playing basketball. Yeah. A lot of people, I feel like there's a lot of people our age specifically that may or may not know that Phil Jackson played basketball and was a part of an NBA championship team before he was even a coach. But before we get into that, how are you guys doing? It's a interesting time of the year because we got so many things going on in terms of like nothing NFL related except for like major offseason trades and all that have happened recently. Which make sure to follow at 515 Podcast on all social media platforms. Braden, one of our co-hosts for the Between the Hashes podcast, does a lot of great reactions. Hunter, if you haven't seen it yet, you should definitely watch his reaction to the Myles Garrett trade that happened today. Have you seen it by chance?
It popped up, and I didn't watch it simply because I wanted to ignore the fact that it happened. So
when we get
don't
done
worry,
recording
I'll watch
this
it.
episode,
When
we watch it, I want to get your reaction after we get done recording here, because he says something at the end that like NBA fans specifically will definitely crack up about. But outside of that, we have the Stanley Cup Finals getting ready between Carolina and I think Las Vegas getting ready to match up. You have the softball College World Series going on. You have baseball super regionals getting ready to be finalized in college baseball. You have the UFC card that's getting ready to debut at the White House, which is just the fact that that's even a sentence is kind of hilarious. You have the UFL playoffs getting ready to kick off this weekend. So you just have a little bit of everything, and then you have an unbelievable finals matchup in the NBA. So how are you guys doing?
Doing a lot better than I was a week ago when me and Hunter recorded. I mean, that was cool. No, doing good. The finals are here. It's a great matchup. The hate watch was successful. Preying on the Shea and the Thunder's downfall was cool to watch. But no, I'm really looking forward to this matchup. I think this series has a chance to go the distance, potentially all the way to 7. So I'm really curious to see what you guys think about it.
I'm doing pretty good. Yoel Mizorowski put up a month of May to remember. So we love that for the Brew Crew. But like Dawson said, successful hate watch. Even though I picked the Thunder, I still did not want them to win. Let's just get that out there.
That's called the emotional hedge, is what that's called.
Exactly. It's like
we will be getting into the emotional hedges about just everything going on in the NBA right now. But yes.
But some other news in the NBA that I will eventually talk more about at some point, mostly because of the finals. I was like, you know what? I don't want to talk about this because I just want to watch basketball and pretend that the off season just is never going to happen. But also at the end of the day, the Thunder losing increases the price of Giannis. So good luck, anybody that wants him. Your price just doubled.
It sounds like he's not going to be in Milwaukee next year. Are you? This is the only. We won't go into a deep conversation.
Yeah.
This is the off-season thing. Do you think he's playing in Milwaukee next year? That's. We'll leave it out of that.
I would like to think he does, but
Okay.
with the Thunder losing, like I'm not saying he can or cannot be gone, but with the Thunder losing, his price has just skyrocketed because that's the competition now. So best of luck to all other teams in the league. Delete all of your trade machine drafts because they don't work anymore.
We have a buffer episode where we kind of recap the lottery a little bit. I think I might release that during one of the breaks in between games of the NBA Finals. And I actually proposed the question to Hunter about whether or not he would listen to a phone call from Oklahoma City offering a bunch of first round picks and stuff. And depending on how the finals or just how everything goes in the next couple weeks, let's not worry about the team that's not in the finals. Let's worry about the two teams that did end up making the trip and punching their tickets to the 2026 NBA Finals. We're talking about the New York Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs. My favorite thing about this is the idea that no matter how long it's been since these two teams have matched up in the NBA Finals, it's still considered a finals rematch. That's my favorite thing in sports, where it's like, oh, it's a Super Bowl rematch between two teams that had no players that are currently playing each other in a matchup that happened 12 years ago. I mean, heck, literally look at Seattle and New England in the Super Bowl this year. But that has nothing really to do with the actual matchup itself. But you have the New York Knicks, who heading into the season pretty much felt like they were I don't know if team of destiny is the perfect way of wording it in the Eastern Conference, but it just seemed like everything was shaped up to benefit them this year. You have Jalen Brunson. You have another year with supporting cast of Cat, Bridges, and Anunoby, all those guys. And your bench throughout this playoff run has just helped you. Shamet has been unbelievable. Shamet has got to be one of the guys that I did not expect to be a huge contributor to this team heading into this season. And now we're talking about him being a lethal shooter at times for the New York Knicks. It's been one of those where it's like, is this the team of destiny? But the funny thing about it, on the other side, you have the San Antonio Spurs, which one of you will probably pull up this stat at one point. Probably one of the youngest teams or most inexperienced teams to make an NBA Finals run, probably in recent memory. And it's just unbelievable what they've been able to do throughout this playoff run to hold Chet Holmgren to 4 points in the Game 7, 2 or 4 points, something like that. 4 points to the point where Reggie Miller is like, this is embarrassing. He didn't say it exactly, but he was pretty much saying it's embarrassing what Chet Holmgren is not doing for the Thunder. Just completely made him irrelevant for Oklahoma City, thanks to Victor Wembanyama and crew of the San Antonio Spurs. So we have a matchup of probably a lot of experience, team of destiny kind of thing with the New York Knicks. It just seems like they should be the ones that cut down the nets, or I guess raise the trophy in the NBA terms at the end of the season. But you also have the San Antonio Spurs, who I feel like we all knew at some point they'll make a run for the championship. I don't know if we were expecting it this early. So early thoughts on just both teams' runs as a whole, not necessarily breaking down the matchups. Dawson, your mic's muted.
Good call. The Spurs, they haven't, like, it's not that they've had like hiccups in this playoff run, but I don't think anyone really expected the Minnesota series to go as long as it did, even though we all think Minnesota's a great team. That series goes 6 games. The Portland one's weird because the game that Portland won was the game Wemby got hurt in like the first quarter or second quarter with the concussion. But like you mentioned, Brock, it's amazing to see the development with all these young guys, because really the only guys that have like legit playoff experience in their rotation, I mean, Harrison Barnes plays quite a bit. Other than that, it's like
Luke Cornett.
The rest of their roster is super young. Even like De'Aaron Fox, he's like the vet of the team. His like playoff experience is losing in 7 to the Golden State Warriors. I mean, that's like the playoff veteran that you're relying on if you're all the young guys on the Spurs. So it's pretty crazy to see that transformation. Um, as much as I was rooting for them to win the conference finals, I didn't really think they had a chance in this series. But they showed that they were, I wouldn't say clearly the better team, but that were the better team from start to finish, because they beat them 4 times in the regular season, and then obviously 4 more times in the playoffs in Oklahoma City. So impressive run. San Antonio is a pretty young, scrappy team, and they got a lot of depth at that guard position, which could pose problems for New York. But for New York, it was the think about where we were about 7 weeks ago when they're down 2-1 to the Atlanta Hawks, and questions are arising like, does Mike Brown need to go? Do you need to trade Towns? Do you need to trade Anunoby, Bridges? Like, this team just doesn't work. And then I don't even think this is hyperbole when I say this, they rattle off the greatest 11-game stretch in NBA history with the largest point differential at almost 20 points a game in the playoffs, winning 3 straight against the Hawks, winning 4 straight against the Sixers, winning 4 straight against my Cavs. But it's kind of, again, with Boston losing in round 1, that was really the only other threat. I know we all had hopes for Detroit, but Detroit they're the San Antonio with not as much depth. They're just very inexperienced, and they didn't really have what it takes to potentially make that finals run. But for the Knicks, I mean, what's surprising to me is how well their bench is playing. Like you mentioned, Brock, Shamit's been playing really well. Deuce McBride's been playing really well. If Mitchell Robinson can somehow learn to shoot free throws, that'd be really cool. Suggestion for Mitchell, if he's ever listening to this podcast, which he won't be, but just in case he does. I don't even know if this is going to be offensive, but I'm just going to say it. Have we tried the granny shot on the free throws? Have we tried the Rick Barry? He's shooting. I got to pull up his playoff free throw numbers because they are horrid. I think they're 4. No, hold on. That's his regular season numbers. Oh, man. I need to figure this out because I'm going to be sad if I can't. His playoff free throw is 30%. Try your granny shot. Just in practice next few days. You already broke your finger, so you can use an excuse like, I got to try out a different form. You can't possibly shoot worse than 30% from the granny. I'm just going to throw that out there right now. But no, this series, like Brock mentioned earlier, it's not really a playoff or like rematch or like a finals rematch, because it's been 28 years, 27 years since these two teams have played in the finals. And since that first finals, the teams have been on opposite trajectories. The Spurs became a dynasty and won 5 titles, and the Knicks have just been meh up until like last 2 years. But I'm really excited for this series. I like I said in my opening monologue, this series has the chance to go all the way. I think this series could go 7 games. I don't really even know who I'm going to pick yet in this one, but I'm super excited for this one.
Yeah, I think like Dawson said, like this series will be very exciting. Obviously, when you have a team in the finals that's from a city like New York, that always is going to bring a lot of attention just around in general, even outside of the NBA, which is, as much as I like to dog on big market versus small market and not always being on the side of big markets, it does help when they make the finals. It is a lot of times a good thing, and especially seeing like how the city of New York as a whole just is kind of like rallied around the Knicks. That usually doesn't end well but this time it is. It's going pretty well. So that's always fun. But yeah, especially like I said, just going on an absolute tear. Just doing the things that they've done to teams. It's just nasty work to televise that, honestly. Like, I don't know if that's allowed, but it's happening anyway. And so to see them take on a team with, at this point, it has the next face of the league. Like, there were a lot of questions around like when it might happen. Some people even going as far as like if it would happen, with the whole like, can somebody not from America be the face of the league? Which is a really dumb argument, by the way, but I'll ignore that for now. But Wemby's pretty much just nabbed that at this point. Really since that game one, basically logo shot, Steph Curry range in Oklahoma City. That pretty much sealed the deal of like, oh, okay, so he's here, he's arrived, and he's beautiful. Like that's what we're looking at.
Nice job on the Nike slogan fit in right there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that ad. Have both of you seen that Nike ad with him? By the way, Nike whoever like is in the like making the slogan for the top 2% athletes that get those. Whoever does that just doesn't get paid enough. That's all I gotta say. They just do an amazing job right there.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I get what you mean.
But yeah, so seeing him do that was great. But just as a whole, like Dawson, like seeing on the side of the Knicks, like obviously having like I think Dawson brought it up on the pod the other week of like probably the best starting five, just kind of hands down probably. Very, very reliable, especially starting five, and especially this playoff series. And their bench, like you guys have both mentioned, doing very, very good. And like seeing, even though the Spurs have Wemby, I think their depth still is decent. I think what's more impressive is like the youth of depth. Just like Brock said, of just like the age of these guys. But just to see like guys like Dylan Harper and Carter Bryant like acting like actual NBA players that have been around. Like this is not their first time. I think the fun thing, especially after the series, is seeing like a lot of the people like NBA fans that don't watch college basketball as much be like, I have one question. How did Rutgers not manage to make March? Like, how is that even possible after just watching Dylan Harper?
How long do you have? How long do you have?
How long do you have? So that was funny. But yeah, just to see like the overall just maturity of the Spurs, even being such a young team, is just honestly, I think the most entertaining fact about who they are and like the identity of their team, especially when they're led. He's obviously not the head coach, but essentially being led behind the scenes, like Mitch Johnson, great coach, but also being led behind the scenes by Greg Popovich, like is really, really cool. Yes. Has been really, really cool. And then to be able to see a guy like Mitch Johnson be able to like, the way he's talked about, for example, like Carter Bryant and how much he just loves the guy, especially after like, the very viral moment of him being a little upset with how he played, which is very understandable. I feel like I'd be bawling my eyes out if I made a mistake somehow, if I made an NBA team in the Western Conference Finals in my first year in the league. But just to see how he's embraced his guys too has been super fun, and to have that already pay off for them is great. And now they get to go to New York, where I'm sure everyone in Madison Square Garden will be very, very nice and happy to see them.
Oh yeah, New York fans are the nicest people in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Them in Philadelphia, best fans ever. Like the nicest people you'll ever meet.
Yes, exactly.
Of course, I'm talking about the New York and Philadelphia fans that don't live in Philadelphia and New York.
And even then, maybe not.
Yeah. The Spurs making the final. If you would show these two rosters, just ages or whatever, no logos, just ages, and you'd had to guess which one came from the East and which one came from the West, I'm pretty sure 9 times out of 10, people are going to assume the Spurs roster is the one that came out of the East, because the West has always been labeled as the toughest conference to get through. And I mean, they didn't have an easy trip whatsoever. I mean, they had to beat the defending champs in 7 games. Obviously, the Timberwolves series was kind of underwhelming with the injuries and other things going on. I mean, we were kind of talking about whether or not the Spurs were going to be able to get out of the first round just because we didn't know the severity of Wembanyama's injury after the head injury against Portland. It should. I'm not saying I'm not happy that it's happening, but like on paper, historically, this should not be happening for a franchise like this. I know that they have the next face, if not the face now of the league already, and Wemby, but like it should not be happening with this young set core already. It should be like a year or two. This is their first run as a group.
Yeah. Yeah, it's worth noting now that we're going to have an 8th different champion in the last 8 years.
And for the people that say that this era of basketball has been terrible, I'm sorry, but I will forever be someone that supports parity no matter how hard it can be sometimes looking back at some of them because of how we got to certain champions. I will take 8 years of 8 different champions than watching Heat, Spurs, Golden State, Cleveland for 1 year, and then Golden State again. Like, granted, don't get me wrong, love me a dynasty, but like, there's something about the parity in the league, as well as the teams that are winning are teams that aren't normally winning the championship. Obviously, the Spurs could ruin that in terms of like recency since 2000, but like New York hasn't won since the 70s, and that's my favorite part. Is with how much New York is promoted, you would think that they'd be going for their 18th championship. They only have 2 and maybe 3. I like my plumber era knowledge is not necessarily up to date, so I could be wrong, but I think it's 2 and it might be back to back or separated by 4 years. What was it?
1970, 1973.
Okay, so separated by a couple of years. So yeah, like this could be a team that when you really look back on it hasn't really won championship in recent memory. I mean, Kareem won one with Milwaukee since then, right? Because he was in Milwaukee around that time. So
he was Lou Alcindor back then. I don't even know if he was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
That is true. That is true. But like, it just shows you that how great the league is currently for parity, and I think it's going to continue too, especially if we hit this expansion era that it seems like we're heading towards in the near future. And then you got New York, where, you know, again, going back to New York, I guess what I meant to say. Again, you put these teams on paper, just their ages, you would have to assume this team has to win the championship. And so that kind of brings up a question here. You know what? Let's save that question. I'm going to ask who probably needs to win the championship more. We'll ask that down the road. But looking at the matchups right here, I don't know if you could have asked for a better 2-team matchup, because I think you got players that can match up well against everybody. I definitely do think that star-wise, the Knicks have a little bit of the edge in terms of like full roster strength between the matchups, but you can't sleep on San Antonio. They've proven that their young guys are learning quickly. So what kind of matchups here are you guys interested in seeing? Obviously, Wemby and Towns is probably a heavy favorite, but I'm interested to see who's going to go up against Jalen Brunson and if they're going to be able to shut him down or limit his production a little bit. Brunson has been unbelievable this playoff run, and I feel like if you can stop him, you're setting yourself up for success.
It really depends on who's going to end up guarding Wemby for the Knicks side of things. I like the Mitchell Robinson aspect of that. I just think he brings a different like energy off the bench than Towns. Towns might have some fits. And if you're the Knicks, do you even go like OG Anunoby on Wemby for a little bit and just try to base guard him and then have someone hanging down low. But even then, the Spurs have a lot of good shooters, so that would be tough to do. And they're I think they've matched up 2 times this year, correct? Maybe it was
It'd
three.
be 3 with the NBA
The Cup.
Cup.
Yeah, I forget if the Cup championships was a thing. But they split the series when it was home in San Antonio. They won by 2 points, and then when it was in New York, the Spurs lost by 25. So that's something to note. It is funny because you could tell based like how like the general public views these starting lineups by like finals odds, like finals MVP odds, just like what players have a legit shot. So like Wemby's the favorite because the Spurs are the favorite in this series, and then it's Brunson, Towns, Anunoby, and then the next Spur isn't until Stephon Castle.
Oh
So
wow.
the public's telling you that the next 3 best players after Wemby are all on the Knicks, and you could argue based on how you feel about Castle and Fox that Bridges is better than them too. So the Knicks could have 4 of the 5 best players in the court. It's not a belief that I have. I think Castle is really really good, and even Fox brings a different element. But it tells you like that Wemby's gonna have to having another insane series. I think he ended up averaging like what 27 points a game, 14 rebounds this year against the Thunder,
Mm-hmm.
something along those lines. But I I'm curious for that matchup. And then San Antonio, they have some depth, but they don't really have depth at that big position other than Cornette. Like then you're just getting into like, oh god, we can't put Bismack Biombo. Wow, I'm
The
struggling
fact
right now.
that we're even talking about Bismack Biombo
But
right now is hilarious.
But like you get like if Wemby has foul trouble or Cornette has foul trouble, and you get down to like you're back at big guys, it's like, do we really want Kelly Olynyk to check into the NBA Finals if we're
Protect your
not up
shoulders,
30?
cat.
True. Do we really want? Uh, is it Mason Plumlee? It's not Miles. It's Mason, right?
Yeah,
On the Spurs.
Mason.
I always get those two confused. But do you really want him playing Finals minutes? Probably not. So
Mm-hmm.
if the Knicks can like find a way to get like Cornette in foul trouble and then make Wemby have to play substantial minutes because he doesn't really average anything more than 38,
He's
37 minutes per
getting
game.
32 minutes a game in the playoffs currently.
Right. So if you can push him closer to that 40-minute number and see if he physically wears down by the time the fourth quarter starts, then if you're the Knicks, you really like your chances. But yeah, I'm curious to see how the next best Spur is going to play. Who is it going to be in this series? Is it going to be Fox? Is it going to be Castle? Is it going to be Vassell? Like, who is going to step up and really claim that position on the Spurs? Because right now, I think you could argue like 4 or 5 different guys could be the second best Spur. Because even Harper off the bench, Keldon Johnson when he gets hot from 3 could be a nice addition for him. But no, that's what I'm really keeping my eye on. Who can step up for the Spurs as the second best player of this series?
Going back to that matchup against Victor, you mentioned Mitchell Robinson. Hunter, do you have any worries about his injury? It sounds like he's going to be playing with his I think it's a broken pinky and he's been working it out, like doing individual workouts and stuff like that. If you're the Spurs, is that really anything to try to exploit? I've never broken fingers, so I obviously don't know what it's like trying to play basketball on a broken finger, but is that something that the Spurs can really take advantage of?
I don't necessarily know. I think just the matchup in general, I don't think it's a bad matchup. I think especially down low, like it makes the most sense to have a guy like Cat or a guy like Mitch down low. But even it's no secret they can get into foul trouble very easily. And just to be honest, I think Wemby just can get around them just that much easier. I think Cat's probably even the better option between the two. To be honest, I would agree. I like the idea of OG playing on him a lot more just because the Spurs just don't have a lot of wing depth just in general. It's Keldon Johnson comes off the bench. And outside, that's a lot of guys that, I mean, Champagne's been great shooting wise, but like that's not a guy you put an absolute stopper, the absolute clamps on, right? That's someone you would put somebody on him that just is able to get a hand in his face as soon as he catches the ball. So I think putting OG on him probably makes the most sense just to see even what happens and how it goes. Because he's just such a skilled defender in general. The size, definitely concerning, but he's a guy that could work around it somehow, some way.
It's been proven that size, like height, does not necessarily matter as long as you got the will and the physicality to fight against someone. I mean, Dawson, you're wearing the hat every time we talk about someone that's just got that dog in him. Matthew Dellavedova will forever be an NBA playoff legend just because of his fight. Granted, he was going up against someone that was similar in terms of height, but like just having the will, just having that will and determination really outweighs your the height situation or size situation may be.
I will agree until it becomes a guy that stands at 7'4" with
that is a good point as
that's
well.
About 9 feet in the air. But
that is
his length, OG, I know he does have some really good length to be able to stop him, especially from just like getting around him.
He's got one of the biggest wingspans, doesn't he, in the league or something like that? I swear I think I might be misremembering that. But, you know, everybody at this point that plays the 3-4 position has like an 8-foot wingspan, it seems like.
Yeah.
Overreacting on that. But just to make the point on that.
Yeah. But I think especially from the other perspective of matchups, I think something I will be interested to see is what they do with Stephon Castle. Because I think Stephon Castle, like Dawson said, has played great just in general. The Knicks will be the second best defensive team, thankfully, that the Spurs will be going against. However, it is not a secret that this team, and specifically this player, has some issues turning over the ball. And for a team as explosive as the New York Knicks, who have some very, very great people, very, very fast hands, mind you, to take the ball away from you, that could be very bad very quickly. And especially when Wembanyama is not on the floor, because those minutes are already going to be rough enough. Those are already going to be really, really bad. You pair that then, if you want to keep your probably second best player on the floor, just playing wise throughout this series, keep Castle on the floor. If he's not able to hold on to the ball, and especially then, let's say Wemby leaves, all of a sudden, OG Anunoby's guarding you, who is in the, I'm pretty sure, like 90th percentile, probably even higher than that, of being able to steal the ball and block people from shooting the ball for his position. You put him on Stephon Castle, and all of a sudden, you will score 0 points, and you will only get scored on, probably. That's not ideal. But that can't be the case all the time. So I'll be curious to see what the Knicks do to try to exploit that. To be honest, hopefully, maybe this will spoil who I'm cheering for in the series. Hopefully, it will not be as big of a problem as I'm making it out to be. But I would imagine that will be something that the Knicks would try to exploit the most on the defensive side.
One of the good things, though, about this Spurs team is that if Castle continues to have that turnover issue and the matchups benefit towards trying to have the best on-ball defender with him, you have another great guard that can handle the ball, distribute the ball, turns it over a little bit less for sure in comparison stat-wise. I mean, you're going from 3.7 turnovers per game to 1.8, and De'Aaron Fox. And I'm interested to see who they pair up with him, because people forget De'Aaron Fox is one of the quickest guards in the league.
He looked crazy in Game 7. He looked unbelievably fast.
And he's someone I'm interested to see, because I think he's a good defender too. I don't really know what their plans are in terms of like Brunson's matchup. My guess would probably be Fox would be on him, which I'm interested to see if that's the case, because the thing that Brunson has been able to do is get by the guards that he's going up against on the offensive end. Well, now you're going to go up against someone that can keep up with you speed-wise, but might be a little bit better of a defender compared to some, not all, some of the guards that he's went up with against in the playoffs so far. So I'm interested to see if this De'Aaron Fox Brunson matchup is going to be a big storyline. I think it might actually be a big storyline if those two are matched up against each other on the offense and defensive side of the balls. But that's one of the highlights for me that I'm so looking forward to, because I think a lot of people forget how good De'Aaron Fox actually is, just because of the amount of talent that he is surrounded by, as well as Stephon Castle just exploding onto the scene this year.
Again, the craziest part about this is if you look at San Antonio's starting lineup. So you have Fox, who's a proven all-star. Then you have Castle, who's the one rookie of the year last year, and that's a good player. We'll see what he turns into to develop. Devin Vassell has had an up and down career, but has really popped off this year. Then you obviously have Wemby. The craziest part is, like Hunter mentioned earlier, Champagne's a nice player, but he was cut for Mac McClung on the 76ers. He was cut so that Mac McClung could be in a dunk contest.
There's a lot of players on both of these, or there's just a lot of people on the staffs as well as the rosters on these teams that you could be like, interesting. But yeah, keep going. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
And it's crazy because Champagne's turned into like a super important player. Like, he's a consistent 3-point shooter for the Spurs who need that spacing with Wemby, so that way Wemby can kick out. Because Fox isn't necessarily the greatest 3-point shooter. Castle and Vassell are nice shooter from the outside. But like, and then you look at the Knicks starting lineup, and all those guys are proven. They all have like earned their ranks in the NBA. Brunson's a multi-time All-Star. Anunoby has been a two-way monster for pretty much the last 5 or 6 years. Same goes for Bridges. Josh Hart is Mr. Hustle, Mr. Scrappy. He's been that way since he's been with the Lakers back in 2017, 2018. And then Towns, who wasn't too long ago that GMs will be like, if there was a draft today and you could have any player on your team, Towns was the answer for a lot of GMs. Like, people, it's going back probably 4 or 5 years, maybe even further than that. But Towns was that guy. It still is a very capable player. But it's just crazy because the expectations for the Knicks before the year was like, okay, NBA Finals, Conference Finals, or bust. You fired your coach after making the Conference Finals. You lose in 6 to the Pacers. Like, you got to show some advancement this year. And the Spurs, it was just like, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. And then they just casually won 62 games in the NBA Finals right now.
Casually.
Like, it was almost a thing in the regular season where just you would check the standings and be like, okay, OKC's really good. And be like, what? San Antonio? They eventually got to cool off, right? They're not going to just win this many games. And they won this many games. We're here June 1st recording, and they're in the NBA Finals. And I wouldn't say the heavy favorite to win this series, but the public likes the Spurs in this one, which is crazy considering where both these teams started at the beginning of the year.
I'm so excited, man. Like, I don't know if I've been this excited for an NBA Finals matchup that does not include my Boston Celtics. Like, and actually, both of you probably could give the same reaction. I don't know what your guys' reaction to this matchup is, but I can't remember a Finals matchup in a while that I'm like, oh, I'm so excited. Like, this is just gonna be so fun to watch.
Yeah. The hate watch is still going on for a certain team. I won't disclose that team.
I'm not saying that the hate watch
isn't
a thing.
Figure it out.
Yeah. I'm not saying the hate watch isn't a thing, but like, okay, let's go back to Golden State, Toronto. Let's go back to that Finals matchup. Since that said matchup, outside of Hunter, you can't include your Bucks, and I won't include my Celtics years. Is there a Finals matchup that like intrigued you as much as I feel like this one is for a lot of people?
I loved Bucks Suns. Like, that series had so many iconic moments. Like the Giannis and one dunk at the end, it was a game 4. No, game 2. One of the two. To
What?
basically seal that game, and then obviously the 50-point game 6 to win it. 2022 was what? Warriors, Celtics. That Warriors team was gross looking back on it. Andrew Wiggins was a good player back then. 2023, I can't even remember. Oh, the Nuggets. That one was gross. No one cares about that one. No one even talks about that finals anymore.
Exactly, but like going into it, so I'm not even talking about like the moments that ended up happening. I just don't know going into it. I've never been this excited for a finals matchup.
Yeah, I could.
It probably was the first couple years that the Cavs and the Warriors played each other since the last time I was like, oh, this is going to be great. And that was more of because we knew the star power that was there already. This time it's weird because it's like, I know that even the Knicks are kind of up there in age in terms of NBA standards, but like we could be looking at two teams that like define the next era of the NBA. Obviously, the NBA has completely changed in terms of how you can keep your roster structured. Because, by the way, anyone that doesn't know this, the San Antonio Spurs structure of their roster, that's not supposed to be happening in the NBA. They don't like that for some reason. Being able to keep your roster like that. I mean, the Thunder, people are going to forget about the Thunder roster in a couple years because they're going to have to come up with the contracts for that. It's just because I don't know. They make it so hard for you to retain your players anymore. By the way, this is a little side tangent. I guess I'll get to that in a second. Either way, really excited for this matchup. My side tangent goes back to Mitchell Robinson because because I just mentioned trying to retain your players. He's on his last year of his deal. I don't know if I've ever seen a player more set up to be the Tyson Chandler of this NBA Finals in my life than Mitchell Robinson. Which is funny because Tyson Chandler ended up getting a bag from New York because of his finals contributions in that Dallas-Miami series over 15 years ago. If the Knicks win, I don't see a world where Mitchell Robinson is back next year because he's going to be able to get his bag wherever he wants, no matter because if they win, he's going to be a big contributor to that. I don't see a world where he's not a huge, impactful player for a Knicks championship win.
He will be the next starting center for the Los Angeles Lakers. You mark my words. You clip this in a month when free agency starts. We're going to see a notification pop up on our phone. It's going to be like Mitchell Robinson has agreed to a 3-year, $85 million deal. And we're going to be like, what? I'm putting it out there in the universe right now. Just be ready.
Hey, Tyson Chandler did it. And I mean, Tyson Chandler was like 10 years into his NBA career, I think, when he got that bag. Just proves NBA Finals, if your contract's up, you want to be in the NBA Finals because it takes one moment for people to remember you.
Timofey Mozgov got $72 million.
Oh my gosh, yes.
After not starting in the NBA Finals. He didn't start in that series.
I forgot about that, dude.
Like, he got what is that? $18 million a year as a backup center on a championship team. So there's your number, $18 million, and that was 10 years ago.
Jeez. But yeah, I wanted to make sure I got that in because I was looking at this matchup and I was like, oh my gosh, Mitchell Robinson just screams Tyson Chandler, which the irony in that being that he's in New York right now is just hilarious. But man, you look at some of the teams that are going to be watching this from home. They got to be regretting some of the moves that they made. Sacramento is definitely one of those, but also Sacramento is the most cursed trash team ever. You got
Sacramento regrets things while they're watching their team. This is not
that's true.
It's out of the ordinary.
When's the last time Sacramento's been happy?
when they made the playoffs with De'Aaron Fox.
That was as
Were
far
they?
as it got.
I mean, that was cool. Like the beam. I mean, beam.
They were
teams,
excited. They were excited, and then even during the series, it's like, oh, okay, well, never mind.
It was one of those where it's like after game one, they're like, so this is where it ends. This is where it ends.
The Kings haven't been happy since like 2002. Is that
when the refs
screwed them over
the series? Yeah.
Yeah. Was it either 2002 or 2001, one of the 2 years, but yeah. They haven't been happy since. Which, to be fair, was more recent than what the Knicks have been happy because they hadn't made the finals since 99. So, but maybe that means Sacramento's going to be in the finals 2 years from now. Who knows?
Don't. But, dude, looking back, we're about 12 months ago around this time, we were talking about Tom Thibodeau getting fired by New York. And we were talking about whether or not that was a good decision or not. And again, I think if I remember right, I think we were almost split in terms of our opinions on that because we could see both sides of like why it would work to keep him for another year, why it might be the time to move on. I think Mike Brown was probably one of the smartest moves they've made in terms of firing Tom. And I love Thibodeau for what he's done for the game. He's turned some teams into competitors, but Mike Brown has just taken this Knicks team to a whole nother level. And if the Knicks do win, I will give credit to Thibodeau for at least establishing the core that is the current New York Knicks. But again, doesn't mean that Mike Brown didn't impact this team enough to take them to that next level.
So what you're saying is, if you lose Game 1 of the conference finals in horribly shameful fashion, you should fire your coach, and then you'll be in the NBA Finals next year. Kenny, get off my team. Leave. No one wants you here.
I wasn't trying to say that part out loud, but I guess that's what I'm saying. I guess you guys should go hire Thibodeau.
Should just take Mike Brown from the Knicks, make him a 3-time Cavaliers head coach. Because 2 times is enough.
Yeah. Him and then bringing LeBron back home. Oh,
you know what? David Blatt. What are you doing? What are you up to these days? What's David Blatt doing?
I don't know. I think you go get Mike Brown. Go see if you can sign Mo Williams as an assistant coach. Like, just run back the whole team. Anderson Varejao as a post coach, or like just a what are those college positions that they call that? Quality control position coach or something like that.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I saw they brought out Anderson Varejao before that one game. That was cool. Anderson Varejao is one of my favorite, like, just random players that will just pop in my head every once in a while, and it'll be like, oh.
It makes me sad he didn't get a ring. It makes me sad he wasn't on that 2016 team. I mean, technically,
because he was in Golden State, right?
He split time. He was in Cleveland to start that year, and then got cut, and then went to Golden State. So I think he might have a championship ring, but he really doesn't. If that makes sense. He probably
doesn't feel that way.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, hey, there's a situation with that in this series. You got, I always butcher his last name. I think I say it different every time. Yeah. Is it Shohan? I always thought it was Shochan.
Let's find out.
Jeremy Shohan, former, I think he played for Baylor.
He unfortunately played for Baylor.
Yeah. Got drafted by the Spurs, waived by the Spurs, I think, earlier this year, and then the Knicks picked him up. Oh, what are your guys' opinions on the split, like on the ring situation, like the split time, or like what is there a cutoff of where you're like, okay, let's be honest, you probably shouldn't be getting a ring?
I gotta say something, and I'll let Hunter talk. I typed in Jeremy Shohan, and then 7 articles popped up. Spurs face uncomfortable Jeremy Shohan reality ahead of NBA Finals. Quote, I know quite a lot. Knicks Jeremy Shohan talents knowledge of Spurs inside the Knicks. Here's another article. Jeremy Shohan could be Knicks X factor in the NBA Finals with his Victor Wembanyama teammate experience. Sports Illustrated also says, what's this? Roundtable.io. I don't even know what this website is. Jeremy Shohan plans to share Spurs intel with Knicks in the NBA Finals. I felt like I needed to share that.
Jeremy Shohan, who's played 5 games.
Hey, to be fair, he's been doing a great job of stopping Wemby for the last 3 years. He knows.
Clearly.
He knows. He held that man back. Clearly. He knows how to stop him.
I see the headlines that are like, he's going to tell them how to stop Wemby, and I'm like, have people figured out how to stop Wemby? I don't know if people have.
There is a way to stop Wemby. You get him so upset that he punches other players and he gets thrown out. That's the only chance you have.
You just need him to start biting his thumb.
You put him back on the Spurs, and then they lose.
That's the X factor. He's going to be the X factor of why they lose.
Yeah.
But like going back to that, what are your guys' thoughts though? Like on that like split ring thing? Like it's weird to me because like even as a player, I don't know if it's one of those where it's like you don't know what you would actually do until you're actually put in that situation. Like, you know, we talk about that with the NIL era of college athletics. People will be like, oh, why doesn't someone just stay with the team that they've always been with? Well, you know, as a 20-year-old, not many people at that age are offered $8 million to go play somewhere else. So you don't really know what you're going to do until you're put into that situation. So if you were him and the Spurs end up winning, or like Anderson Varejao in that situation in 2016, like, do you want that ring? Like, do you consider yourself a champion? It's weird. I don't think so. And it hurts me because like there's a lot of players that like Varejao put in years with that organization in Cleveland. But like I don't think he's a champion in my book. And if the Spurs win this year, sorry. I don't think so. Sorry, Jeremy.
No, I personally would not. Sorry. It feels weird. Feels like when you're on the group project and then the teacher's like, you know what? You guys can't work together. So we're going to put you on a different project because so-and-so dropped out at the last second. So we're going to put you over there. And then the project you were on gets the best grade in the class and you get a decent grade, but like you're not on the winning team. You're not on the teacher's favorite team. I mean, I don't know.
And this is a complete joke, by the way, and you guys will know by the player I've referenced and my enjoyment of just the career that he's had and everything he's done for me as an Iowa State fan and everything. But Tyrese Halliburton did more to win a gold medal than what Jeremy Shohan is going to do to help the Spurs win a championship. And I know Hunter is like, because he's on the team. He's on the physical team. It's not like.
Oh, I was just going to point out, I thought it was interesting you didn't say Jason Tatum and not Ty.
Oh, honestly, I forgot that he was even on the team. If I'm being completely honest, didn't even think about him, which is fair though. You know, like it gets my point across.
Yeah. Yeah, I go back and forth in my head because let's say he got traded. Let's say the Spurs, let's say it's last year. Let's say it's like last year and he gets traded and then the Spurs make the finals. It's like he was a contributor, you know. I could see an argument, you know. He was a rotation guy. He was not really a rotation guy in the year he got traded, which was this one. So that's where
I don't think he got traded. He got waived.
Or sorry. Yeah, my bad.
Which I feel like brings on another layer to it. They even said, we don't want you. We don't want you on our team
to come back.
We're not even going to trade.
That is a good point. But yeah, so that's where I go back and forth because I also am biased against him because he went to Baylor, so that's why I'm like, get him out of here. Like I don't want him, but yeah. So
You're right though. It is different. If a player gets traded from a team to the other team that's in the NBA Finals, that's different because what you were traded for, maybe it's like a player that pushes the team over the edge to like where they can win the title. So then I feel like, hey, I like by effect won a championship. Yeah, you did. I mean, technically, but they told you, buddy, don't show up to work tomorrow. We'll even pay the rest of your check, but do not show up to work. You can go somewhere else. Like that's what they did.
So like, what I'm hearing is,
here's your severance. Go find another job.
So what I'm hearing is, if you're part of the trade package that takes the team that you're traded from to the next level to win a championship, you deserve to be called part of that championship team because you contributed in that trade.
It's timeout. Don't find the loophole quite yet. It's got to be the same season.
Because I was about to say,
call Marcus Smart an NBA champion.
No. I wasn't even talking about Marcus Smart. I was about to say DeMar DeRozan is an NBA champion.
Bipartisan, he is,
because that dude got murdered for Kawhi Leonard and the Raptors to win the finals.
The sacrificial lamb. That's what he was.
This dude, who, by the way, I feel like if you're wondering how, for all the people that don't probably pay attention to DeMar DeRozan as much as maybe us three do, if you're wanting to know how long he's been in the league and just how consistent he's been, just go look at where he's ranked in the all-time scoring list. Like, he's around names that you're like, why is DeMar DeRozan around these names? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And that dude is not going to have his number retired in Toronto, but a guy who played 1 year will get his number retired in Toronto. And again, I understand he won a championship. Dawson, I saw your reaction. I understand that, but like, I do find it kind of funny that like that was a fever dream while DeMar DeRozan literally had to claw tooth and nail to be a 2 seed or to be a team that lost to LeBron off of game winner after game winner in those playoff duels that they went off of.
I'll say one thing about this, then we probably might get into our like NBA picks and finals MVP and all that stuff. But like, can we not agree that if like Toronto was just a dominant team that year and didn't win every series in like close fashion or like it wasn't dramatic, that Kawhi would not have his number retired? Can we just pretty much assume the reason he's getting his number retired is because he made that shot against Philly?
I was just about to say that.
And
they probably won't even put a jersey in the rafters. They will probably just put his number where he was standing when the shot went in. That's where his jersey will like the banner. They'll just like that paint it onto the court. That's where it will be.
But yeah, that was my 2 cents on that.
I can't believe that we got. I hate my brain. I don't know how we were. I can think of things that gets us to talking about whether or not Kawhi Leonard and DeMar DeRozan should get their numbers retired. But by the way, Dawson, what jersey you got on? Is this a LeBron All-Star jersey?
No, it's Darius Garland All-Star jersey. Makes me sad wearing this. I'm not gonna lie.
That's a novelty item, man.
1-time NBA All-Star Darius Garland, or maybe 2-time. I think he was a 1-time.
That's great.
We'll go like a fake band.
Dude, you have a Darius Garland All-Star jersey.
Oh, he's a 2-time. Shoot.
You'd have to buy that. You'd have to buy that when it was up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You can't get that on DHgate. So we're not questioning your loyalty to your team. Like you went and spent your hard-earned cash to get a Darius Garland.
Freshman year, D-Mac Dawson was like, I'm buying this jersey. And I was sifting through the closet the other day, and I'm like, you know what? That's the next one. I have them lined up by episode now. So after game 1, when we do an episode reaction, I got that one set up too.
Dude, if having a jersey of a player on your team makes you a fan, like I probably would be considered someone that's not even a fan of my own team anymore, because I have a Christmas Day, like the year that they did, just like the numbers were the same, the font numbers, everything was the same as the jersey color. Rajon Rondo Celtics jersey, and then I have the typical, ooh, look at me, I'm a Celtics fan, Larry Bird jersey too. So like I don't even have anybody from the last decade. The last time any of the players of the Celtics jerseys I have played was 2013, like 2013, 2014 area.
Yeah,
So
I know the perfect jersey that you need. You need yourself a Jared Sullinger jersey.
dude,
Or like,
I'd wear the crap out of that jersey.
who else would be kind of funny?
Avery Bradley, Jared Wallace, Jonas Jerebko. That would be a
Yeah,
good one.
Jerebko's a good one. I like Jerebko.
Daniel Tice. I had to get two though because he had two different stints with the Celtics.
Yeah, didn't he wear 2 different numbers?
I don't think so, but it'd just be funny to have two different ones if they changed the jerseys within the couple years. They changed the piping or something like that.
Brock, how much for you to custom make a Celtics Shaq jersey?
Oh, dude, I'd think about it. I want to still buy what was his number? Hunter, look it up for me. Chris Babb.
30.
52? Was he 52?
Yeah,
I
his
think it was
something like it was a weird number.
If it's 52, you can't
Yeah,
question my
that is
Celtics
52.
fandom. Yeah. No. Okay, now
my God, that's
now do I want
gross.
to double down and see if I can get this one right? Was do I want to test this? Screw it.
Yeah.
Was Abdul Nader 26? I feel like he was a weird 20.
Mm-mm.
It wasn't even 20.
It was, but you should have quit while you're ahead. It was 28.
Okay, I knew it wasn't
You were
24.
close.
Dang. 28. Ew, that's even like that's disgusting. Sorry. All right, let's get into previewing the or just not previewing, giving our predictions of the NBA finals. Again, we've kind of laid it all out. There's some key matchups between guard positions with Fox and Brunson, Stephon Castle, who's going to be guarding him, who's going to be guarding Wemby, OG, Cat, Mitchell Robinson, and then you just got the dominant guard in Jalen Brunson, who's just been cooking on the offensive end all year long. So I'm just going to kind of open it up to you guys. You guys give us a breakdown, doesn't matter how long it is, on what you think going into this. You guys can give us your personal bias. You can give us your own whatever you need to do to get your point across on this finals matchup between the Spurs and the Knicks.
Yeah. I'll go first, so I'll let Hunter conclude everyone's thoughts. But real quick, I have ESPN open, and Hunter, your Brewers are being mean to the Giants. They're 13-2 with bases loaded in the 8th. Jesus. I had to say that. I saw that and it caught me so off guard.
Good.
that alarmed me. But I truly think, and this is going to sound like a cop-out answer, but I promise you it isn't. Whoever wins Wednesday night game 1 will win the series. I'm going to just put it out there right now. I personally think it's going to be San Antonio. So I think the Spurs are going to win in 6 games. But again, if the Knicks win on Monday, with them having that much rest, being that healthy, because other than Robinson's injury, there's not a single New York Knick on the injury report. Same could be said for the Spurs, but Dylan Harper's been banged up this playoffs. Fox has missed games this playoffs. Like, the Spurs have had some injuries. Wemby's missed games in the playoffs for all that. But, like, winning game 1 is going to be so crucial. You set the tone. If you're the Knicks, you just got to get one of the first 2 home games to really have a shot. Because both of these teams are home. They play so much better at home. The Spurs were 32-8 at home, and the Knicks were, shoot, I should have had it pulled up already. The Knicks at home are 30-10. They're some of the best home team record-wise in the NBA. So if you can steal one of those road games, if you're the Knicks or the Spurs, it's going to be crucial. But again, whoever wins game 1 is going to win the series. Personally, I think San Antonio is going to come out on top. So give me Spurs in 6, and it's going to be boring, but I'm going to say Wemby wins Finals MVP. But you want a little frisky Finals MVP. Dylan Harper could just win it outright. He's plus 20,000. So if you put $100, you could have 20 grand. Just saying. Not gambling advice. Don't do it. But there you go. But Spurs in 6, Wemby Finals MVP is my official pick.
So how much would I make?
Oh boy.
How much would Brendan Sorsby make?
Well, he would put like $3,000 on it. So what's the math on that? 6 million? I don't know, 600,000.
Just bet on yourself, dude.
Bet on yourself. Come on.
Hunter, who you got?
I would just like to say, in the time that all happened, the Brewers are now up 16-2.
Did they score more?
Where's
Throw that out there.
the GIF of
Dude, that's not
already dead?
That is not cool.
That's great. I love it. Anytime the Giants can lose.
That's a good point. We love the Giants losing. As Dawson said in our last episode, no matter how the series ends, the city of New York will be wiped off the face of the planet. That will happen. Now, how will that happen is instead the question we will answer. The Knicks, I just want to throw out a number. And this is I think I'll say it, but then I'll just go back on it. I'm not trying to flame any team here. But at the end of the day, when you are saying one thing, you are saying another. If you're respecting one team, you're disrespecting the other. 47.666666667. What does that number mean? Does anybody got a wild guess?
How many dollars are in my bank account? $46.66.
Well, if you round up, it would actually be 67 cents.
True. It's in Bitcoin, so it's weird.
Oh yeah. I have no idea.
That is the teams that the New York Knicks have beaten in the playoffs. That's the number of wins they got in the regular season on average. 47.
I think I know.
They are playing a team that has won over 60 games. Now, they have some rest time. I think it will be a great series. However, on the other side as well, the writing is on the wall. The cloud is in the horizon. The red flag is clear as day. You do not have rose-tinted glasses on. The red flag is clear. The legacy of the next go of basketball begins on Wednesday. The Spurs and Victor Wembanyama will win this series. Also, I agree, in like 6 games. I just feel like it's clear as day. I think it will be a great series. And I'm sure as much as Knicks fans are saying, please, Spurs, please let us have one. Let us have one. You can have the next 8 or 9. Just let us have one, please. It's not going to happen. That man's a greedy man. He literally went into a press conference and said, I will die. I will die for this win. That man cried on national television repeatedly and says he doesn't care. That is a dog. And he will not lose. He's not getting to the finals and then losing. That might be a canon event for him. His canon event already happened when he lost twice for France. He is not going to lose for the Spurs.
Let me say one thing before Brock goes. Kind of to piggyback off your stat with the
I don't
Knicks.
even want to make a pick now that you guys have picked the same two.
So the Knicks are obviously not the first 3-seeder lower to make the finals. It's happened 25 other times in the last 58 years, 57 years, if I'm remembering my stat correctly. They are the first 3-seeder lower, though, to get to the finals without playing the 1 or the 2 seed in their given conference. To not play the 1 or the 2 seed, being the 3-seeder lower. Because remember, Boston lost to Philly and Cleveland beat Detroit, so it knocked out both of those two. So you could argue New York really hasn't played anyone, like what Hunter said, but New York has handled everyone other than the Hawks in sweeping fashion. So, but all right, there we go.
I don't know if I want to make a pick. I'm in a weird predicament because I predicted one of these teams to win the championship heading into this year, and that was the New York Knicks. Now looking back at it, if it was the Knicks and the Rockets, I still would pick the Knicks to win because how in the heck did the how did
we don't need to go back on our preseason picks. Those are gross. Let's not do that. I had the Magic in the conference finals.
So I will kind of piggyback off of Dawson's idea of someone doing the first. Not necessarily the first team to win. Whoever wins game one will win it on. Blah. I am having a stroke or something today. I'm not saying the same thing of the team to win game one will win it all. I am saying the first team to win a game on the road will win the championship. I don't think it will be game one. I don't know if it'll be game two. But I don't think it's going to be game 3 or 4. So you probably can tell. Dude, I keep going back and forth, man. So, yeah, screw it. I guess I'm gonna just piggyback off of you guys. I was gonna go to the Knicks. I was gonna go to the Knicks, but I legit don't. Give me, you know what? Give me Spurs in 7. I'm gonna go with a 7-game series, and actually give me De'Aaron Fox to win Finals MVP.
Ooh, let's see that one. $100 turns into $10,000. So
because
you want $10,000, that's all you.
Dude, there's something about this potential matchup. Again, I don't remember from their 2 previous matchups this year who defended who. But if he is the guy to guard Brunson, I don't even think necessarily steals or rebounds matter, or how many turnovers he forces on Brunson. I think it's going to be more on how many points he prevents Brunson from scoring. That could be the impact of the Spurs winning it all. And if he has one game for some reason where he turns into like Sacramento Kings De'Aaron Fox and puts up like 30-something and 8 or something like that, 30 and 5, 35 and 2 steals, whatever it may be, like I have a hard time believing that he won't win it. Also because, you guys took Wemby, and I wanted to take someone different, but yeah, give me Spurs in 7. I think the Spurs are going to win the first 2 games in San Antonio, and then I think the Knicks are going to win. I think it's going to go 2-2, and then I actually see a world where either New York wins game 5 and San Antonio. I see a world where it goes 2-2, Knicks win game 5, Spurs go to New York because game 6 would be in New York, and Wemby has his I'm not comparing these two. Has his Trae Young, Tyrese Halliburton, Madison Square Garden moment, and then he just kills them in game 7. So each team will get a win on the road. I do see a world where the first team to win on the road will win the series. So, like I said earlier, going off of that and how I think the series might go, you would think the Knicks would win it all. But that was when I was going to go with the Knicks to win it all, and I ended up changing my opinion last minute. So it's going 7. That's all I'm going to say. 7 games. I'm going to go with the Spurs and give me De'Aaron Fox to be the sleeper Finals MVP. But I will say Wemby could literally average 10 and 10 if they win the championship. There's no way he's not getting Finals MVP just because the league needs it. The league needs it for health. Like if he wins this early in his career, man, you're gonna have to make a good, you're gonna have to be undisputed argument type thing to take it away from him if he doesn't for him not to win Finals MVP. But yeah, I know I rambled on there. I went back and forth on which teams I have winning what, but yeah, give me that. I don't know how I don't know if anything I just said made sense because I went back on 4 different things I said, but I'm locked in. Spurs and 7.
Locked.
I will say, if you guys want to play a fun little exercise, then we can wrap this up.
Did Blue
Unnamed
score again?
sport. No, that was
Okay.
actually I had no idea. No, that didn't. The game's over. Fun little exercise. Certain sports book with green logo has these fun props. Like series leader in points, 3-pointers, rebounds, assists. Who do you think has the most points or averages the most points per game in this series?
Karl Anthony Towns.
Jesus, Brockett. He's actually 5th on there on the list. So Wemby's the favorite, then it's Brunson, and then it's like a Grand Canyon size drop off from everyone else. But
I think Brunson's gonna get shut down, dude. Like he loves driving to the hoop, and there's something about it. I know that he can shoot from long range too, but like he's gonna have to only be able to do that.
Yeah. Hunter, what about you? Who do you think averages most points in this series?
I was gonna go Brunson. I'm not gonna lie.
So Brunson's 2nd. Wemby's obviously the favorite.
I just don't know anything. Okay, I'm just trying to have fun here.
Hey, no, I think
I don't know anything. Okay, why do I even host this show? Why don't you guys just do it?
No.
Oh my gosh!
Everybody put Brock doesn't know ball in the chat. Thank you.
Get out of here,
Dawson. Don't you dare.
Who do you think has the most 3-pointers this series?
Oh gosh.
So I'll give you the top 3, and they're all pretty close odds wise. But it's Vassell, Champagny, and then Brunson are the top 3.
Is Bridges underneath?
Bridges is 8th.
Oh wow. Who's 4th?
Actually, Shamet has better odds, which is crazy.
Low key.
Shamet, yeah. To be fair, they have Wemby above Shamet, which is kind of crazy. Wemby's not. He's a good 3-point shooter, but he's not a volume 3-point shooter.
When Bridges is on though from 3-point range, like dude, it's probably got to be Brunson. I feel like it's got to be Brunson.
See, I think it's gonna be Champagny.
Okay.
Personally, because I think Champagny's he's gonna be the odd man out, and
Hasn't
the Knicks
he
are
been
probably gonna
struggling from 3-point range this playoff run, or was that someone else? I'm not.
I think Champagny is who Brunson's gonna guard. And,
no, he's been shooting well.
And I think Champagny could have a monster series potentially. But then there's 2 more I want to do, and then we can sign off this episode officially. Rebounds. Do we just kind of all agree it's gonna be Wemby, or do you got Towns or Robinson in there?
If it's not Wemby, it's Robinson. Oh,
I think Towns could make an argument. Towns just goes at and then there's a world where just because nobody gets rebounds, Josh Hart will end with the most.
So, I almost said the
probably
unnamed sportsbook. Josh Hart is 3rd. Mitchell Robinson is behind Champagny, Stephon Castle, and OG Anunoby, and Josh Hart, Karl Towns, and Wemby.
I wonder if that has to do with his injury.
It must be. I mean, that just doesn't make any sense.
Kelly Olynyk. Give me Kelly Olynyk.
He's not even on there.
Well, then that means I just get to own the world if I get that right at this point.
Yeah.
And then the last one is most assist. Castle is the favorite.
Give me Cat. Big Purr.
Big Purr is 13-1.
Come on.
Give me.
I think Josh Hart, low key.
Give me De'Aaron Fox, because if Castle struggles handling the ball, they're gonna have to give it to Fox.
Fox is 6-1. Castle is plus 140. So there you go. I just wanted a fun little exercise, kind of where you guys see certain players popping off or not. But all right, I've said my piece.
Are we gonna do over unders of how many times Timothy Chalamet is shown on TV?
I do not like that, man.
I'm part of the team, guys.
I do not like that man.
You guys see me in Wonka? He's done other movies. Oh, Dune? Isn't that he's in Dune, right?
No idea.
I don't know. I'm just looking
Yes.
forward to seeing Scary Movie this week. Because
Also,
yes,
I don't know if
I'm
you guys
one of
saw,
those degenerates.
while we were recording, it's official.
Nope. We don't want to. We're not going to talk about what happened in the college world. Don't.
Whoa! I'm not allowed to say.
No. We're not going to talk about Big Blue Nation. That's just not. It's just not a thing.
Okay,
Mark Pope doesn't exist.
Well, his checkbook does.
Yeah, Mark Pope's also going to be looking for unemployment next year.
You know what? I don't think the boosters at Kentucky really care.
Nope. If it was up to them, they probably would have just given him the money now.
I love. Have you ever seen Ed Orgeron talk about how he got fired from LSU? And the AD brings Ed into his office. He's like, Ed, just isn't working. You're gonna be terminated from your duties. And he's like, we're gonna pay the rest of your salary. And Ed's like, how much is it? And the AD's like, it's $26 million. He's like, all right, I'll get my stuff out tomorrow.
That's how I would be.
Like,
and now he's
all
back
right.
with them. He's
He is.
He's not an actual coordinator, right? He's just
He's like an
quality
offensive analyst and a recruiting specialist.
Jeez.
That's hilarious.
But
Dude,
yeah.
I can't. You guys are kind of looking forward to the hate watch of the Knicks, and I still have that little bit of hatred being a Celtics fan, but like, I cannot wait to hate watch LSU all year this year in football. Like, we're like, Dawson, you'll understand how bad it is by this comparison. We're talking like Fran McCaffrey levels of hate watch that I'm getting ready for with LSU. And they never stole a player from Iowa State. They did nothing to Iowa State.
Well, not yet.
I don't know who you're going to steal our entire roster. It's not like that's happened before or anything. By the way, do you guys know that there's no like restaurants in Ames? I heard that Ames is like a ghost town for restaurants.
I heard they got an Olive Garden. That's what I heard.
We did get an Olive Garden. I was at work today and someone's like, dude, I just ordered takeout from Olive Garden. I was like, okay. Like, I'm sorry. Olive Garden is not like, I'm not like a fanatic for Olive Garden. Okay, we'll sign off here. For Hunter Rose and Dawson Livingston, I'm Brock Bierman. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to like, subscribe, whatever you can do to help support us. We appreciate it here on the 515 Podcast Network. We'll have some announcements on a new show potentially coming in the network here this fall. Actually may have something to do with hate watching Lane Kiffin. But for Hunter Rose and Dawson Livingston, I'm Brock Bierman. We'll see you next week.